You're listening to the 49 Carats Podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Podcast. I'm your host, Steph. It is Sunday, October 27th. The 49ers just finished a tradition of theirs for the past 4 or so games. They beat the Cowboys on prime time, 30-24. There were some moments in this game where things got a little dicey, little strange, not a lot of hope-inducing moments, I would say. And by the way, I'm here solo. Adam is enjoying a vacation in El Salvador. I'm sure he's having a lot of fun. But we're having some fun too because, like I said, 49ers won a game that felt like a must-win. Once again, another must-win game for the 49ers so early in the season, but they got it done. They improved to 4-4, moving on to their bye week. But let's just rewind a little bit and talk about the start of this game, right? So Cowboys get the ball first, punt. 49ers get the ball first, field goal. Very much the beginning of this game was very much what we've seen from the 49ers, I'd say, like, all season, like not being able to finish drives, not being able to convert on third down. They finished converting 50% of their third downs today, but could have been better. I know people were pointing out like the yards per play were still good, but that doesn't make me feel a lot better, at least in those moments, right? It's like the 49ers were shooting themselves in the foot early in this game. Like they probably could have blown out the Cowboys by a lot, right? And at one point they were beating them by 10 points, the 49ers were, right? It should have probably stayed that, but then towards the end of the game, it got pretty close, ended up winning by 6. But that's the tale of this 49ers team. I did tweet out in the first half that I wasn't inspired at all by this team. They just looked like a bad team, playing badly, shooting themselves in the foot. That's what we saw in the first half. Very, very frustrating. It's just what we've been seeing all season from this team. And I got to say, like, one thing that we haven't seen all season, but like in spurts here and there, is like Brock Purdy just like not looking super comfortable. Brock Purdy not looking like himself. Like, it was very weird in the first half. He was missing throws that he would normally make. As of late, we've seen Brock Purdy with a lot throwing behind guys, not throwing them in stride, not leading them like he used to. Like just the timing of it, not quite sharp like it used to be. So I was a little concerned, like definitely in the first half. I think a lot of us were concerned by seeing Brock and him missing some of these throws that he normally would make. And so, yeah, that was just weird. And I think we all had an unsettling feeling in that first half. But I don't know. I know Chris Collinsworth said, I don't know what Kyle Shanahan said at halftime, but it certainly worked. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was said at halftime either, but they came out of the half. They got the ball first to open the half. And, I mean, they pretty much didn't look back from there. That's exactly the type of juice that the 49ers needed coming back from the half with a touchdown scoring drive. And Brock looked like himself, right? I'll say this. Another thing, Isaac Guerendo looked great today. I have to say, hey, he whiffed on a pass pro snap late in the game, right? I think it was Overshown that got to Brock Purdy on his blind side there on a blitz. Now, yeah, that was bad. But aside from that, I thought Guerendo played well. Guerendo had to play more in this game because Jordan Mason exited. Seemed like he re-aggravated his shoulder maybe. To talk about injuries really quick. So Jordan Mason, right, re-aggravated that shoulder. He was on the field for a bit. Seemed like he returned to the game, or like seemed like he was close to returning, but like it seemed like the 49ers wanted to keep it safe, keep him out. Isaac Guerrero, once he got in there, he was hitting the outside and gaining like big gains. Let me just see what he ended up with as far as yards per attempt. Because, 6.1 yards per attempt for Isaac Guerrero, 14 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. And he could have had another one late in the game in the fourth quarter as the 49ers try to ice this one. He slid, though, again. He's a team player. So I do like Isaac Guerrero, what I've been seeing from him as of late. But the other injury that happened in this game was Deebo Samuel. And that one at first was like undisclosed. Like it took them a while to, I guess, mention what the injury was. Rib injury for Deebo Samuel. That's after he had a 4-catch, 71-yard game. Luckily, though, that happened later in the second half. So by that point, the 49ers had a comfortable enough lead. But definitely something to keep an eye on. Like, the injuries continue to pile for this team. I don't know if there's another team in the NFL right now that needs this bye week coming up as badly as the 49ers do. So it's good that the 49ers going into this bye week, not just for the injuries, but that they're going into it with a win. That is huge for this team. And like I said, Brock Purdy definitely settled in the second half. He finished 18 of 26, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. He took 2 sacks. But the difference is that Dak Prescott, as he often does against the 49ers, threw 2 picks in this game. And the first one, the 49ers didn't really do much with it, right? Like, it was in the first half. So Jair Brown got that interception, aided by Nick Bosa's quarterback hit. That's kind of what forced the somewhat errant throw. Offense takes the ball in their own 8. So they pretty much did have to go through the entirety of the field almost to be able to get any points out of that. So they ended up punting off of that interception. And that's on the same drive that Brock kind of airmailed that throw to a wide open George Kittle, which we were like, what the hell is happening with Brock, right? But in the second half, when they got their interception from Dak Prescott that time, and that was Lenore, that one ended up better for the 49ers because they ended up scoring on that drive. That was to George Kittle. George Kittle, by the way, he has, I think, over 500 career receptions, and he now has the 3rd most receiving yards in franchise history. The receiving leaders are Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, George Kittle. George Kittle has 6,770-something yards. So that's big. That's big for George Kittle. It was National Tight End Day, and George Kittle, of course, found some pay dirt. He has 6 touchdowns on the season, and his tradition of scoring against the Cowboys lives on as well. But yeah, I mean, I hate to. I want to enjoy this win, right? And I am enjoying this win. The 49ers needed this win badly. At the same time, I'm looking at this team, and I still don't know what they are. Like, I still don't know if they're worth, like, fighting for, if they're worth John Lynch investing some more trade picks for, right? Like, I can't be the only one that feels this way. The 49ers needed to win this game, and they did, right? Hold on. I got to address this comment. There's no hat in my background, so I don't know what that comment is for. Anyway, that would never be in my background, by the way. Yeah, like I think I'm just very confused about what this team is. I think throughout this entire season, they've given us glimpses of hope, right? Like, they've given us glimpses of what they have been, what they could be, and yet they also continue to give us glimpses of a bad team. Like, we saw it even in this game. And mind you, the Cowboys are a bad team as well. They're like completely discombobulated from all their injuries too. So I wasn't expecting. Oh, Bosa, was he really? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, but not surprising. I mean, you guys know where Bosa stands on that. Anyway, sorry for the audio listeners, you'll be confused. There's a side discussion going on in the live chat on YouTube, but yeah, like I just don't know what to make of this team, and it's just really weird. I really want to enjoy the win, but I have a lot of questions in the back of my mind still about what this team is. Like I said, the 49ers were up by 10 at one point, and in the fourth quarter, the Cowboys were kind of coming back a little bit, and I don't know, it could have gotten ugly. Could have gotten, it didn't. But that's just the example of, the 49ers keeping bad teams around a little bit. But the 49ers had a turning point in this game, and that turning point was in the third quarter. The points just exploded in the third quarter. Again, like I don't know what happened after halftime, but more of that, please. 21 points scored in the third quarter alone by the 49ers. The defense also shut out Dallas in the third quarter. So that was big. That's pretty much what started the rally and the 49ers just going up by as many points as they did. 3 straight touchdown drives. Sorry, not 3 straight. Oh, actually, yeah, 3 straight touchdown drives for the 49ers after coming back from the half. Again, one of those came off the interception from Dak Prescott. So it was touchdown 49ers, interception by Dak, touchdown 49ers, punt by Dallas, touchdown 49ers, another punt. So like that, I mean, the defense is crazy too, because like they have spurts of being really good too, just like the offense do. You see the defense and you're like, hey, like they're actually playing a pretty good game. And then there was one point in the game where Dalvin Cook was having success running the football. Zeke got a touchdown, and you're like, that's not how it's supposed to look. That didn't look great. So that was confusing. But in moments, key moments, I felt like they stepped up, and that's all you can ask for, right? Like the pillars of that defense continue to step up. Nick Bosa, Diamador Lenore, Fred Warner, like those guys consistently are the guys making plays in those key moments, and thank God, right? Another thing I want to mention while we're on the topic of discussing young players, Malik Mustafa, I feel like he did fine. Renardo Green, started this game as the third corner, and late in the game, the 49ers went to Isaac Yiadom, like in the last drive for Dallas after the 49ers gave up a touchdown to CeeDee Lamb, in which he was pretty much wide open. There were a couple of plays here where it was a little baffling. Like CeeDee Lamb was open in like weird moments more than I would have liked. Like he was wide open, and on that play though, the last touchdown that Dallas scored, it was because there was a collision between him and Jair Brown. So it was like a pick play. But yeah, I mean, that was after that, we didn't see Renardo Green. I don't know if he got benched or if he got hurt. It seemed like, based on what the media was saying during the game as they were live tweeting it, seemed like he might have gotten a little shook up because they did collide pretty hard. But another point of the 49ers need this bye week badly. Let me just see if Kyle Shanahan has started speaking to the media. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But when he does, I will give you those updates as soon as I get them. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing the hat you guys are talking about. Hey, again, not gonna comment on that. All right, so anyway, this was, like I said, a pretty good game, a game they needed. Seattle lost today. The Cardinals won. So Cardinals and the 49ers are tied right now. would imagine the Cardinals, because they beat the Niners, would have the tiebreaker. So Cardinals would probably be in first place, followed by the 49ers. Am I doing that correctly? Am I guessing right? Just let me know. All right, let me get to some of these other comments because you guys have been commenting here. Let me just. Hey, on the topic of special teams, this week I talked about the disparity between 49ers and Cowboys special teams. Cowboys have like one of the best special teams unit in the entire NFL. They may not be a good team, but that is the one thing they do well, right? And the broadcast even talked about it. Turpin is a threat in the return game. That I'll say, like, the 49ers did all right, like in that they didn't give a huge return to Turpin, so that I can live with. There wasn't any bad special teams errors or anything like that. There was a little scuffle that happened early in the game, which is fine. No one got ejected or anything, which I was a little afraid of because I saw D. Winters trading some bows with someone. But yeah, no, special teams did okay, all things considered. And Anders Carlson hit all of his field goals, so he's been pretty good as well. On the topic of D. Winters, he also got hurt in this game. Concussion, though. So luckily, the 49ers have a bye week next week. So hopefully the following week, when the 49ers play in week 10 against Tampa, he will be available. But yeah, a lot of injuries going on with the 49ers. So don't really know what to make of that. It just continues to get worse. I will say, though, I want to see more of the rookies, man, because like they give me that glimmer of hope. And like I've been saying, they're gonna make mistakes. We saw some mistakes from rookies today, right? But we also saw some good plays. And I don't know. They excite me. There's something new and exciting for this team. And we already talked about Isaac Garendo, right? 14 carries, 85 yards, a touchdown. Ricky Pearsall, he had that one play. I think it was like an end around, right? For Ricky Pearsall, he got a carry like out of the backfield. That one went for 39 yards, and he just had like this burst of speed along the sideline. I almost like if there was better blocking up front, he probably could have taken that one. But yeah, I liked that play call for him, and he had a lot of involvement today. 4 catches, 38 yards in this one. Caught all 4 of his targets, with, of course, Juwan Jennings out in this game. First game played without Brandon Ayuk as well. So, Ricky Pearsall was bound to get more snaps and more looks. And, that he did, right? So I want to see more of him. I would have really liked to see more Jacob Cowing. I don't know where he is at in the Kyle Shanahan wide receiver development plan. Seems like he's not in the favorable part of it right now because we just don't see a whole lot of him, and that's after him getting that deep ball last week. But hey, I'm sure hopefully we'll see more of him going forward as well. But yeah, I like the rookies getting some action, right? I want to see more of that. I don't know if you guys do too, but also this week, like I think we got to discuss, should the 49ers trade for someone, and if so, what position, right? I think the hot one has been pass rusher. I think the 49ers need a defensive lineman, and it looked like Robert Beal got shook up late in the game too, so maybe that ups the ante of wanting to get a pass rusher or edge rusher in this game or after this game. So we'll wait and see, but I wouldn't be surprised if, because the 49ers won this game, because Christian McCaffrey is returning probably after the bye week, I think I would imagine that the 49ers, John Lynch, makes some calls and try to get some guys. Now, Diana Rossini put out a piece for The Athletic this weekend in which she did name a couple of trade options for the 49ers. She did mention the Patriots as a team that will listen to offers for pretty much anyone. All right. They did win today against the Jets. But I still think they're a team that are open for business. She mentioned Kendrick Bourne as an option. She mentioned Devin Godchow. I think that's how you say his name, or Godshoe. But yeah, I think the 49ers will probably explore a trade for a defensive lineman. Again, I don't know if I'm sold on this specific 2024 team being a team that, like, I personally would want to invest more draft capital in. But at the same time, I always feel that sometimes draft capital alone is a little overvalued if you know you're getting a proven product, or sorry, a proven player in return for a draft pick. Like, that is worth it to me, depending on the pick and of course like the value comparison. But yeah, I guess it really depends. Like, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers go after a defensive lineman in after this week. So I'm curious to know what you guys think, though. Like, are you convinced by this 49ers team? Are you convinced by this win? Like, do you feel like the 49ers are back? Let me know in the live chat. I'm very curious. I'm still not convinced, and I'll talk about it this week, right? I don't want to talk about it too much right now because I'm like, I want to enjoy the win. It is a post-game, reaction show, and yeah, we'll see. Someone said, all I hear are all ex-Niners. Yeah, a lot of former 49ers are being thrown around as options for the 49ers to pick up, like Kendrick Bourne. The report from Diana Rossini, too, was that the 49ers have internally discussed DeForest Buckner as well as DJ Jones, but that their respective teams are unlikely to trade them. And that makes sense. I mean, the Colts are 4-4. I think they lost today, right? So they're 4-4. And then who's the other team? Well, I already mentioned the Patriots. I think they would be willing to trade for someone, but I don't think the 49ers would be trading for a wide receiver. They get Juwan Jennings back after the bye week. We'll see what Debo's rib injury is seeming like, but I don't think they need a receiver. Okay, let's see. And then yeah, the Broncos as well, I think, are 4-4 or 5-4, 5-3. They won today. I know that. All right, Kyle Shanahan is speaking with the media now. So let me get some of these live updates from you guys. So as far as the injury report, Jordan Mason, yes, it is a shoulder injury. D. Winters did suffer a concussion in this game. Deebo Samuel, it is a rib injury for him. And Renardo Green, yes, to confirm our suspicion, Renardo Green was not benched. He did suffer an injury. It's an ankle injury for him. None of these players returned to the game after their injuries. Again, just like last time that Jordan Mason suffered his shoulder injury, I believe it was it against it was before the Chiefs game. He was held out of that game too, just more as a precautionary, and that they would use him if they needed him. But Kyle Shanahan pretty much said that was the case this time again, that he could have come back in this game, which I guess is encouraging. And of course, you got the bye week coming up, so he's going to be able to rest that shoulder a little bit longer, and that's good for him and the Niners. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of injuries to track, but like I said, with the bye week coming up, it couldn't be coming at a better time for the 49ers, and then we'll have to regroup and see if we get a different version of this 49ers, a more complete version, a more cohesive version of this 49ers team after the bye week. I have to imagine, hopefully, they do look a little more cohesive. So that's the thing, right? Like, and Jay brought this up on Bully Ball this past week. He said, the 49ers haven't really had a complete game where, okay, the offense will look good, but when the offense looks good, the defense looks bad, or vice versa, or special teams, and then everything else is clicking, but special teams has a blunder. So you haven't really had like a complete game a dominant game from this 49ers team. And I think that's why, like, one part of it is discombobulated while the other part of it seems to be working well. So again, they haven't quite got into like full panic mode because that would be like all three phases looking terrible. But definitely is some room for improvement on all phases of this 49ers team. And definitely the offense, I think, could use Christian McCaffrey when he returns. And I mean, it can only get better, right? When Christian McCaffrey's back, like hopefully that makes Brock Purdy a little more comfortable. Like I said, there were moments where Brock in the first half, like, looked uncomfortable. He was inaccurate. It was just weird. In the second half, he started running the ball a little bit more and using his legs, getting some first downs from that. So that did pay off. In fact, he had 56 yards rushing as well as a rushing touchdown in this game, Brock did. So it's kind of good. Like, it seems like running settles him down a little bit for whatever reason. It works for him. So we'll take it. We'll take that. Now, another thing that came up for the 49ers, I already mentioned for third downs, they were 8 of 16, right? So converted 50%. You like that math there. 50% of their third downs in this game. In the red zone, they were, in the red zone, they were 3 of 4, which is great. I want to remind people, though, that the Cowboys have one of the worst red zone defenses in the league. Like, I think it's the 31st or something. It's ranked 31st or something like that. So I was expecting the 49ers to have some success in the red zone in this game. I'm not ready to say we're all the way back in the red zone, but certainly, like I said, if Christian McCaffrey is back in week 10, that'll certainly help some things. And I think the red zone will look a little more efficient. But a new struggle that appeared for the 49ers in this game and definitely hurt them early in this game was the penalties, right? That's the one thing I didn't really discuss, but like I did talk about the 49ers shooting themselves in the foot, but a lot of it came from penalties. Like literally there were 2 touchdowns called back due to penalties, including a long one that George Kittle would have taken. But 9 penalties for 73 yards for the 49ers in this game, which is strange because, like, penalties have not really been an issue for the 49ers this season like it had been in the past, like during their slow starts. But in this game, yeah, definitely hurt them, and they just looked undisciplined early in the game. Like I said, they kind of locked in. They locked in the second half while it got close in the fourth. I think, hey, they made it happen and they pulled it off, right? So that's what they needed to do. And we're going to reevaluate this team after the bye week to really get a better sense of who this team is. Who's Brock Purdy? Like, I'm wondering who Brock Purdy is now, because I think we're all kind of changing I don't want to say we're changing our opinion of him, but I think we have more information on who Brock Purdy is. Like, we're getting more information. We're getting more context on Brock Purdy. And we're starting to see the full picture of Brock this season, right? Because of some of the injuries that have taken place, because of just some of those other things that are going on. I don't know, but we're getting some answers. We're getting some answers on Brock. And again, it's something I'll definitely be discussing throughout this week as well. But for now, we're going to enjoy a 49ers win. And you know why? Because it was against the Cowboys too. So definitely love that for us. This probably effectively ended Dallas's season, right? Like, I don't think they have any hope in this game. They fell to, well, they're 3-4 now, so I guess they have the same record as we did coming into the game. 49ers now 4-4, 3-2 at home. But yeah, I mean, it's time for the 49ers to now rest throughout this bye week coming up. Gonna have some slate of shows this week. I know because of the bye week, I won't be having my preview show on Friday, but the rest of my shows this week will be as normal normally scheduled. So we'll have a lot to discuss and what we think about this team after this Cowboys win, or the 49ers win over the Cowboys. But for now, folks, I'm going to enjoy this Sunday. I'm going to enjoy Victory Monday. For now, have a good rest of your Sunday night, folks. Peace.